Elon Musk's latest appearance at the White House showcased just how much power he holds in Washington and why President Trump may be taking a major risk by aligning so closely with him. In the Oval Office, Musk stood beside Trump, wearing a dark coat and his signature black hat, while holding his young son. Snow drifted outside as they made their most forceful defense yet of Musk's sweeping government overhaul, a project that has already led to the elimination of major federal agencies, slashed foreign aid programs, and disrupted essential services like medical research. Musk's claims about government inefficiency and reckless spending struck a chord with many Americans who distrust Washington and support Trump's aggressive approach to restructuring the system. But this moment wasn't just about policy, it was about power. The scene inside the Oval Office made one thing clear: in today's political landscape, authority isn't just held by elected officials, but by billionaires with vast resources and influence. The dynamic between Musk and Trump was on full display. While Musk commanded attention, Trump remained seated at the resolute desk, a direct contrast to a recent Time magazine cover that had placed Musk in the president's chair. However, the event also revealed subtle tensions. At times, Trump appeared distracted by Musk's son, while Musk himself exuded a confidence that some say borders on impunity. Despite their public show of unity, concerns are growing within the Republican Party about the long-term implications of Musk's role. His Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, has already dismantled key institutions like USAID and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, with plans to go even further. The initiative has triggered multiple lawsuits, and statements from figures like Vice President J.D. Vance have raised fears that the White House may disregard court rulings if they threaten Musk's agenda. In response to criticism, Musk defended his actions by arguing that his initiative is exposing massive waste. He also addressed concerns over his influence on federal financial systems, justifying his access by pointing to outdated accounting practices. Yet, questions persist over the ethical implications of an unelected billionaire holding such immense power over government operations, especially as some of America's European allies have accused him of meddling in their political affairs. Meanwhile, Trump carefully navigated questions about judicial oversight, stating, "I always abide by the courts." His remark was likely intended to reassure the public, yet it stands in contrast to his past defiance of court orders, particularly during his criminal hush money trial. Musk's presence in government signals a broader shift in how power operates in Washington. While he showed deference to Trump, he also made it clear that his work is driven by his own vision of reform. This media appearance was a strategic move, aimed at controlling the narrative around the DOGE initiative as Republican lawmakers grow uneasy about the impact of mass layoffs and spending cuts, not just in D.C., but across the country. To address accusations of secrecy, Musk emphasized that his department is one of the most transparent in history. "I don't think there's been a case of an organization that has been more transparent than the DOGE organization," he claimed. His willingness to field questions from reporters was meant to reinforce this message, though skepticism remains. Musk and Trump's agenda remains popular among many Americans, particularly those who voted for major government reform in the last election. Public frustration with bureaucracy, combined with long-standing conservative support for spending cuts, has made this initiative politically effective, for now. Federal employees, long seen as entrenched elites, have become easy targets for those who view Washington as broken. Trump reinforced this vision by signing an executive order limiting federal hiring, stating that for every 4 government employees who leave, only 1 can be replaced, except in cases related to public safety. "The people voted for major government reform, and that's what the people are going to get," Musk declared. "That's what democracy is all about." So far, Musk's strategy has focused on agencies that are easy political targets. USAID and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau were already unpopular with many voters, particularly under an America First administration. But the next phase of cuts may prove more controversial. The Education Department is reportedly high on the list, a move that could finally achieve a long-standing Republican goal. However, any disruption to student loan programs or state education funding could spark backlash, even among Trump's supporters. Trump has also set his sights on dismantling the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, citing what he claims were failures in responding to last year's hurricane in North Carolina. His proposed alternative, directing disaster relief funding straight to states, sounds appealing in theory, but experts warn that eliminating FEMA's infrastructure and expertise could have devastating consequences in future disasters. While Musk argues that he is exposing inefficiencies, critics warn that his cuts could have unintended consequences. Slashing funding for medical research under the National Institutes of Health, NIH, for example, may save money in the short term, but it risks crippling the partnerships between the federal government and universities that have positioned the U.S. as a leader in clinical innovation. Even Republican lawmakers are beginning to express concern. Alabama Senator Katie Britt recently called for a more targeted approach to cutting NIH funding, signaling growing resistance within the party. At the same time, Musk himself could become a liability for Trump. His vast federal contracts raise serious conflict of interest questions, yet he assured the public that all financial dealings are transparent. However, given his deep involvement in government operations, this reassurance has done little to silence his critics. Trump's claim that we wouldn't let him exploit his position was met with skepticism, especially in light of his own history of business dealings while in office. Further fueling concerns, the White House announced that Musk would only be required to submit a confidential disclosure form as an unpaid special government employee, far from the full transparency some had hoped for. Musk defended his approach by emphasizing the openness of Doge's operations, stating, "Transparency is what builds trust." Yet, the irony of his own confidential disclosure was hard to ignore. Ultimately, Musk's White House appearance, intended to reassure the public, may have instead reinforced fears that an unelected billionaire is now one of the most powerful figures in American politics. Whether this partnership between Trump and Musk continues to thrive, or becomes a source of political turmoil, remains to be seen. Did you enjoy the video? If so, please subscribe to Read the Explorer, Life and Learning Hub for more videos like this. Please also like the video and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my videos.